pictures, but when I looked through the lens, someone else was already there watching me from the second floor. I've always had a fascination with old buildings, abandoned churches, crumbling farmhouses, forgotten motels. It's not about urban exploring for the thrill. I like photographing the past, capturing how nature reclaims the places we leave behind. So when I heard about the Mallory House, a Victorian era home tucked deep into the woods about 20 miles outside my town, I knew I had to check it out. Locals called it the Hushed House, mostly because nobody talked about it anymore. It had been empty for decades, boarded windows, sagging porch, no visible signs of life. But the structure still stood, stubborn against the elements. I went alone. I always do. Just me, my Canon DSLR, a flashlight, and a backpack. I parked at the end of the dirt road and hiked in through the trees. The house appeared through the branches, like a painting gray wood, crooked shutters, and a roof that dipped slightly to one side like a head leaning into a whisper. I stepped onto the porch. The air was still and cold, the kind that somehow seeps into your clothes even if you're bundled up. The front door was cracked open just enough for me to slip through inside. It was darker than I expected. My flashlight swept across wallpaper that had peeled into curls, furniture covered in decades of dust, and picture frames that had fallen from the walls. The air smelled like mold, damp wood, and something else, something faintly metallic, like rust, but sharper. I moved through the ground floor carefully, snapping pictures of staircases with missing steps, a fireplace filled with old ash, and a kitchen still cluttered with plates like someone left mid-meal 40 years ago. The odd thing was everything was still in place, books on shelves, a coat hanging by the door, shoes beside the sofa. It didn't feel like a house that had been abandoned. It felt paused, frozen in time. I climbed the stairs slowly, avoiding a few rotted spots. At the top was a hallway with 3 doors, one open, 2 closed. The open one led to a bedroom. The walls were covered in old newspaper clippings. They were yellowed and curling, but as I got closer, I realized something unsettling. They were all blank. No headlines, no photos, just paper. That's when I heard it, a creak. Not from beneath my feet, but behind me, down the hall. I turned off the flashlight, held my breath, and waited. The air went still again. I chalked it up to the house shifting. That is when I looked through the lens of my camera and raised it to frame a shot of the hallway, and saw a figure standing in front of the far door, pale, barefoot, wearing what looked like an old nightgown. The camera clicked. I lowered it instantly, but the hallway was empty. I don't remember deciding to leave. My body just moved. I backed into the bedroom, hands shaking, trying to gather myself. Then I heard a soft rustling like fabric brushing along the wall, then a breath right behind me. I turned. Nothing there, but the mirror across the room showed something else, a shape, behind me. Tall, unmoving, without a face, just a blur, like the lens that smeared the world. I ran down the stairs, across the rotted floor, through the front door. I didn't stop until I was back in my car, parked at the edge of the woods. I looked in the rearview mirror the whole drive home, certain that if I blinked, I'd see her sitting in the back seat. When I got home, I loaded the photos onto my laptop. Most were just as I remembered: dust, decay, the quiet sadness of neglect. Until I got to the hallway shot. There, clear as day, was the figure, pale arms at her sides, head tilted slightly. But the most disturbing part wasn't her presence, it was her face, or lack of one. Just skin where features should have been, like someone erased it. And in the next frame where I had taken a photo of the stairs, she was closer, at the top step. The final photo was a blurry image of the open door, what looked like fingertips curling around the edge of the frame. I deleted them, every single one. I don't know why. Fear, maybe, or guilt. But ever since that day, strange things have started happening. Footsteps in my apartment when I'm alone, my camera turning on in the middle of the night. And last week, I woke up to find one of those blank newspaper pages on my kitchen table. No address, no explanation, just a note written on the back in shaky handwriting. Not empty, never was.